Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Pater, and I'm here with Allison Clement, and we are your Tranquil Journeys instructors. We'd like to thank you for joining us and thank Images of Hope of El Dorado County for giving us the opportunity to be with you virtually and to offer you some information and education on relaxation and meditation and techniques that help you with self-care and just well-being overall. And today our theme is going to be on the review of the energy systems and how to apply energy to help with your own relaxation. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Allison and we'll get started.
Well, hi. Energy is one of my favorite topics, and this may be a review for you. If it is, doesn't hurt. If not, we'll keep it in fairly basic terms today. Um, let's see. Well, the way to start is to talk about what people around the world call energy. And when we're talking about energy, we're not talking about that feeling you have after 5 cups of coffee or as soon as you get up in the morning and you're raring to go. We're talking about universal life force that is found in us, through us, around us, in plants and animals, and in pretty much everything on this earth in different ways. It is known by various cultures as ki, chi, prana, and people use it in different healing modalities in different ways. In the traditional Chinese medicine system, you've probably seen charts showing the human body with all these lines. It's a map of the human body with the various lines flowing down the body and through our limbs. The lines are meridians, and those are highways for energy. And there are energy centers. And we'll talk a little bit about those later. Those are chakras. First, I want to say about how to experience energy. Some of you may have learned how to do therapeutic touch or Reiki. Those utilize or channel the universal life force energy for relaxation or healing. The energy doesn't come from the therapist. The therapist simply guides the energy to where it's needed. Acupuncture. In traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture works with the energy system, as I said. That's why you see the charts showing the meridians. Acupuncture uses centers following the meridians to guide that energy. So those are just some examples of how energy is used therapeutically. And so in those ways, you can actually feel the energy. This time of year is a good time of year to actually try seeing energy. When there's a lot of new growth on trees, go outside, look at a pine tree or another tree at the ends of the branches against a clear sky. And you might see something that, well, with me, it resembles heat waves or gas fumes. You know how you see that sort of flickery, almost shadowy look at the edges of branches, at the ends of the branches. So have a look at that. You might feel it if you put your hand against an old tree on the trunk. Close your eyes. See what you experience? Do you see colors behind your eyelids? Do you feel something in your hands? Do you feel tingling or cold or warmth? And that brings us to what we're going to do next. A review of how to feel energy. If you've never done it before, this is a good way to start. So we're going to use our hands to feel energy. And to get our hands all activated, rub them together. Rub them together. And you can use your thumb right in the middle of your palm. Press your thumb into the middle of each palm. And you can also fling your hands open and forward from the elbows like this. That will help to activate your energy receptors in your hands. And if you hold your hands together, maybe about 6 inches apart, hold them, see what you feel. Bring them slightly closer together. See if you sense any resistance. Bring them apart and then together again. See if you notice any tingling or a sense of elasticity. And you can play with it. Play with it. Play with your energetic ball. And if you've done Qigong, you have probably done this many times before. But if not, just practice. Just do this. Try to activate your hands. Just to review what I said, use your thumbs and your palms. Rub your hands together. Fling your arms forward and open your fingers quickly. Do that, and then just see what you can feel. The more you do it, the easier it'll be to feel it and to recognize that feeling. And if you get where you can definitely sense something there, you can, this is kind of fun to do, you can take your fingers, take a couple fingers and extend your other arm outwards and rub, not rub, but wave your fingertips maybe about an inch and a half, an inch from your inner arm back and forth. And as you do, pay close attention and see if you can feel anything without actually touching your fingertips to your arm. Move them back and forth and see if you feel anything almost like a feather's touch as you move one hand back and forth in front of your inner arm. That's really fun to see if you can experience that. And once you can feel energy, it really opens up another dimension to your life and makes you just very aware of things you may not have been aware of before. And you can use it to relax yourself. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. And to relieve pain sometime and in other therapeutic ways. So next I'm going to talk a bit about the chakra system. And the chakras, there are 7 major ones. They are major hubs of energy through our body. And I'll go over each one very briefly, just as a reminder if this is a review for you or an introduction, if it's new to you. We'll start at the bottom, the root, the foundation of our energy system. The first chakra is the root chakra, and it is at the base of our spine. And it grounds us. If that energetic center is working well, that sends the energy up through the rest of our energy system. So it will affect feelings of security, of groundedness, of survival, and stability. So it's a very important one, and it's a good one to work on to make sure that energy is flowing up to the rest of your body, to the other energy systems. The second chakra, and as we go along, follow with your hands if you like. The second chakra is just below your navel. That's the sacral chakra. The color that corresponds to that is orange. And I should have said the root chakra, the first one that we spoke about a moment ago, the color corresponding with that is red. And each one does have a sound. So let me go back to the root chakra. I don't want to forget this. I brought my singing bowls, and each chakra has a sound that begins with the lower chakras, have lower sounds, and as you go up, the sounds or the keys that correspond to them get higher in tone and pitch. So the root chakra is our lowest chakra. Think of red when you hear this. Sometimes the low tones don't transmit well through the microphone. So if that didn't come across so well, my apologies. The second sacral chakra with the color orange. It governs relationships, emotions, sensual feelings. The third chakra is at the navel or our solar plexus area. It affects feelings of energy, vitality. It's the power chakra. It converts energy into physical form. It affects your digestion, your hormones. And the color is yellow. Next is the heart chakra. The fourth chakra, the color is green, and balance, the qualities of love, compassion, our feelings of connection, all those are affected by this chakra, the energy center. So you can see as we go up through the body, the sounds, the tones that correspond to these chakras also get higher and higher. And the throat chakra is next. The color is blue. It's in our throat. When it's in balance, this chakra allows you to express yourself the way you want to. It gives you confidence to speak. Speech and expression, communication. The next chakra is pretty fascinating. It is our third eye chakra, located between the eyebrows here. The color that corresponds to this chakra is indigo, and it affects our intuition, our understanding. It guides our inner vision. and our access to a spiritual reality. So when it's in balance, your insight will improve. And lastly, the seventh chakra is the crown chakra. At the crown of our head, it is uh, our connection to pure consciousness, uh, and transcendence, our higher values. So it's a very important one also to keep clear. And violet is the color that corresponds with this chakra. And when I use my singing bowls for a relaxation session, I like to situate them so that the higher tones are near a person's crown chakra and third eye chakra, for example, and the lower, larger bowls usually are situated near the lower parts of our body, and the midtones are around our heart and navel. So you can work with sounds for in a therapeutic way as well. So it's all about the movements of energy and having them in balance and removing blockages. So with that introduction or review, I will give it to Jennifer, and she's going to take it a level further.
Thank you, Allison. I really love the sensation that I feel when hearing the bowls and the sound and knowing what chakra they're connected to. I can feel the energy running through my body. So thank you for that. And I want to talk a little bit more about how you can use uh, the energy sensations in your own um, touch and fingers and hands to enhance your own well-being. And so some of you are familiar with Reiki, and when you learn Reiki, you spend a lot of time working on yourself and learning all the proper hand positions to help stimulate energy flow in your own body. And then you can also go see someone who practices Reiki and receive it as they place their hands over energy spaces on your body. And so you have kind of the ultimate relaxation when that happens. But during COVID, it's a little bit harder to go get these treatments. And so it's important to know how you can help yourself energetically and create your own system of healing from your own self. And uh, energy work is so powerful and valuable and relaxing. And there's a lot of different types, as Allison mentioned, and something that I'm very familiar with is Ayurveda. And the practice of Ayurveda is all about lifestyle and doing things in your everyday routine that enhance your well-being. And so, in addition to eating properly and getting enough rest and having the right kind of movement, you're doing things to your body that help um, stimulate the relaxation response. You're doing things energetically to your body and also manipulating the muscles through massage, just to help stimulate um, the body's response. And so the philosophy is if you move and help move the energy, you have greater flow of energy and less blockage. And sometimes that can lead to the reduction of pain or an overall sense of just feeling better mentally and physically and spiritually. And it helps you feel connected again to yourself, your spirit, and really feel connected to others. And in Ayurveda, the practice of marma therapy is very common. And that is when you visit a practitioner and they use their fingertips along with a specialized essential oil mixture to stimulate the marma point on the body. And there's so many of them. um, and I kind of combine Reiki points and Marma points when you're working on yourself because it's hard to get to all of the areas. There's so many, and it's very similar to acupuncture and acupressure in the sense that you're looking for a specific point on the body. But the Marma points don't quite run in alignment with some of the traditional Chinese meridians. So it's a little bit different in that way. Um, and really the concept is that there's lots of pathways throughout the body, energy pathways that lead to um, um, the chakras, the bigger energy centers. So the pathways are called nadis, and they're like little freeways that lead to the major, um, you know, interstates, I guess. And so the areas of the chakras of the bodies, and that connects prana, the energy. Uh, Prana uh, is used in Ayurveda, the term prana, as the energy flowing to the organs. And when you help stimulate the flow of energy, again, you have a higher functioning of the organs and all of those things that Allison mentioned. When you have the good flow, um, you have, things like a better sense of grounding or more feelings of connection to other people and yourself, more creativity. And so you really can't go wrong in offering yourself this kind of routine. And so I'd like to just guide you through a quick lesson of Marma therapy with some Reiki as well. And you don't need any special experience. You just need your hands, and we're going to be using our three fingertips. And so just to get started, all that you want to do is just kind of rub your fingertips together. See if you can kind of feel the sensation that we talked about earlier, the tingling or maybe some heat. If you kind of separate your fingers a little bit, move them back and forth, you might feel some of that push and pull, some of that energy flowing. And just imagine that energy is flowing to the tips of your fingers. And don't worry if you are not feeling anything, that's fine. The energy is there, and it's always there. And I like to think of it, it's just activating one of your senses to be able to feel the energy. And it takes a little bit of practice and thinking about it. But think of a time when you've walked into a room and right away you could sense kind of the feelings or the sensations of that room. And so that's kind of energy that you're feeling. The sensation of energy is what you feel in that circumstance. If you walk into a room and it doesn't quite feel right, or you walk into the room and it just feels really great, that's your response to the energy in the environment. So now it's just feeling and learning to feel the response to the energy in your own body. And so we're just kind of start at the top of the head. You're going to take one hand and just go to the very, very top, the crown of your head. This is the crown chakra. You're going to use three of your fingers, three fingertips, and you can rub the top of your head in a clockwise motion for about 8 seconds. And while you're doing this, just take a nice deep breath and imagine energy flowing from your fingertips to the top of your head. And then take your same 3 fingertips and go to your third eye and do the same clockwise motion for about 8 seconds. Nice and slow and gentle. You don't have to use a lot of pressure. Energy is very, Energy work is very subtle. So actually lighter is better. When we're doing Reiki on others, we oftentimes don't even touch the person. And so it's very powerful with a light touch. And then to your next area in the throat, right in the kind of towards the where the throat meets the collarbone. So again, be very gentle in this area. It kind of feels odd to touch your throat in this way. It's not that comfortable, so you don't actually have to touch your throat if you don't want to. You can do the same circular movements without putting pressure on the throat. And again, at each spot, take a deep breath so you can actually feel the sensation of relaxation and energy flowing to your chakra here, being enhanced by the movement you're doing over the chakra with your marma points. And then it's hard to see, but between in the center of the chest is your heart chakra. So you do the same there. You take the 3 fingertips and you're just doing that light circular movement, taking a deep breath. It's so relaxing and it's bringing awareness to your own body, your own chakras, the energy flowing in your body. And then you move down to where your belly button is. And same thing there. You want to be right over your belly button. Deep breath here. There's such a powerful point here in the belly. This helps with all of your digestion, your creativity, the fire and passion you have. And then it's hard to kind of get to the root chakra, but if you just place your hands over your thighs, you can use both hands now. This is kind of a Reiki technique to ground yourself and to imagine the energy flowing from the torso down to the legs, each leg, each of your knees, and to your feet. And if you can reach to the bottom of your feet in the way that you're sitting, you could go ahead and use the same 3 fingers on the bottom of your feet, right in the center of the foot on the sole is a very powerful energy point there. So make sure you do both feet. And if you can't reach your feet right now because of how you're sitting, it's okay. You can keep your hands on your thighs and imagine that your hands are working on that sole of your foot. So don't stress. You can come back to this spot later when you're more comfortable. Make sure to do both feet. And then, if it's comfortable for you to take both of your palms and reach behind you, you can reach behind you so that your palms are flat on your back. And where you want to kind of target is around the sacrum and your hips. This is another power place for a lot of different marma points. So we're using the technique of using the whole palm to get to all of these points at once. And if you can, and if it's comfortable, do some circular movement there with both of your palms. Just imagine the energy flowing. And if you prefer, you can place your hands on the sides of your hips if that's more comfortable. So always as you're doing this routine, make sure you're comfortable the entire time. Don't try to strain. And take a breath here. It feels so good to touch the lower back area or the hips. It's often an area we don't think about very often. So when we have touch here, it feels really relaxing. You can just imagine the energy flowing. And then finally finish up using your 3 fingertips in the center of your palm. Power, power place here in the palms. Just kind of lightly do the circular movement there. That's why so many different philosophies of energy therapies want you to touch the palm. It's because there's just a major power center there in the center of the hand energetically. So just activate that on yourself. And that's it. You can finish by just rubbing your hands together and putting your hands over your heart and your belly and taking a deep breath. And kind of get into your comfortable sitting position or lying down for meditation. When you're ready, take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Continue to focus on your inhale and exhale with your hand on your heart, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Just feeling the good sensation that you've created from activating your marma points, doing your own self-care and healing. So important. And just allow yourself to be still now, focusing on your inhale and your exhale. If you have thoughts, that's okay. Just let them come and go. It's inner stillness that brings healing and creates a foundation inside of you for deeper inner knowing, deeper wisdom, peace, and clarity. And this is all available to you whenever you need it. Just allow yourself to go within, to be still, to listen to your own inner rhythm, to just be. Listen to silence, gently letting go of any external sounds. They come and go, but you can maintain the silence within you. And let the silence be a tool for taking care of yourself. Again, where it's time to listen, listen to what your body wants. Surrender to what is. Release what you're holding on to. Because right now, in this moment, it's time, your time for freedom from all your burdens. It's your time to check in, to regain power over yourself and your reaction to circumstances. The only person you will always be able to control is yourself. The actions you take to care for yourself mentally, spiritually, physically, create good energy within you. Other people can feel and sense and respond to your good energy that you've created for your own self. Eventually, with practice, you'll just naturally radiate this good energy. Just with the little work we've done with Marma points, I can imagine that your energy is flowing, it's gentle and kind, See what you feel from the sensation you've created. And now think of the word love. Feel the energy from this word as you say it softly to yourself. Maybe tell yourself how much you love your own self. Imagine the positive energy and love flowing from the base of your spine, igniting all of your chakras, all the way up to the top of your head. Imagine love flowing down your legs and your feet and connecting you to the earth and all of its power and glory. Let love into your arms and your hands so that everything you touch can thrive from the love within you. You are deeply connected to yourself, everyone, and everything by all of this love inside of you. And now imagine that love protects you, it surrounds you as if you're in a clear bubble, which is sealed at the top and bottom, so that you are completely protected with this energetic love. And just sit again in silence, using the power of your breath, the positive and loving sensations you've created to replenish your energy. And when you are ready, very slowly and gently come back to the room that you're in. And you can sit quietly. Allison is going to come back on and play some sounds just as you're coming back and waking up from your meditation.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed our review of energetic anatomy, and we want to thank you. And Images of Hope El Dorado, as always, for their support. We're grateful for your support in watching us and for all the wonderful feedback that you give to us, which keeps us going. And we will see you next time. In the meantime, pay attention to those feelings of energy. Look at the trees out there and try to stay cool if you can. So, Jennifer and I will see you next time. And again, we are very grateful to you. Bye bye.